Black Desert Online has been one of the most popular MMORPGs for the last several years. There's really no denying the quality the title delivers in terms of visual satisfaction, nor the depth of what is arguably one of, if not the, best action combat system present within the entire MMO genre, depending on who you ask, of course. Today we're here to discuss an email that I just received from Pearl Abyss pertaining to the game breaking records for them. Now, for those of you that were unaware, Pearl Abyss have been working on what they describe as an enormous class reboot for the game, not only rebooting, but also drastically overhauling 17 of the 23 available classes found within the game. Opinions have been somewhat mixed on the update. I'm not personally going to go into that, as I feel as though my opinion doesn't really hold much weight. On the one hand, I've really only played 2 classes long term, neither of which I've invested time into since this overhaul took place. On the other hand, I realistically only play Black Desert for maybe a few weeks per year. The game is a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, it just gets very repetitious and monotonous very quickly for me. This update though has seen Black Desert Online reach player numbers that they have never seen before. Pearl Abyss reported last year that there were a few 100,000 active players logging in per month, and as of earlier today, it was revealed that since this update went live, there has been a 230% increase in terms of active players logging in via PC in North America and Europe alone. Now, I'm going to take a moment here to put this into perspective for you. If there were an average of 200,000 active players per month several months ago, that means that there is the potential for 460,000 individual players logging in per month as of this week alone. If we increase that to 300,000, because Pearl Abyss were never explicit, they were never specific with their numbers, they gave us a broad range, then the game could be pushing well over 700,000 players logging in and playing. Guild Wars 2 has in the low 100,000s of players right now, which granted will increase substantially when End of Dragons launches soon, and the Elder Scrolls Online has probably double Guild Wars 2's population. This announcement is disregarding console players and countries outside of North America and Europe though. However, they did go on to note that including every country globally, so every country Black Desert Online is released within, the game has seen an increase of 165% in new daily players. Again, this puts Black Desert ahead of various of its competition. It has more active players now than Guild Wars 2. It has more active players currently than the Elder Scrolls Online, than RuneScape. Final Fantasy XIV still has ridiculous login queues, so I doubt that it's really dropped under the 1.52 million or more active players that it had. And WoW is still likely hovering around 1 million or more active players per month. Nevertheless, it is a safe conclusion to come to that Black Desert has, as of this update, become the 3rd most played MMORPG currently in 2022. That is a gargantuan, monumental achievement, one that I bet the majority of you never saw coming. Granted, nobody knows realistically how long this is going to last, whether it's going to be a small influx of players coming back to test out the new classes, whether a large percentage of these players are actual new players, whether the novelty is going to die off tomorrow, next week, or next month. Either way, Black Desert Online, released back in 2015 within South Korea, Japan, and Russia, and 2016 in North America and Europe, meaning a game that is almost a decade old, Final Fantasy XIV, a game that is going on 2 decades old, World of Warcraft, and a game that is almost as old as Final Fantasy XIV are the 3 most played MMORPGs right now. You have to admit, the MMORPG genre has got to be in a pretty dire situation for the 3 most populated games to be games that have already existed for between 8 to 15 years. Now, if you guys are interested, you can find more info pertaining to each and every class by navigating on over to the official Black Desert website, or you can, just take a minute, log in, and try the game out for yourself right now. The game is buy to play after all, and as such, If you have purchased it in the past, you can log in at any point and pick up from right where you left off. I am in the process of currently playing Black Desert right now. I come back to this game, as I mentioned earlier in the video, every year because it's something that I genuinely have fun playing. It's a gorgeous game that is a ton of fun to just mash some buttons in. And this update is pushing the game to new heights, allowing for it to shatter every record it had set up until this point. Pearl Abyss has a lot planned for the future of the game, both on PC and on consoles, and I personally look forward to being there to cover it every step of the way. For those of you that have tested out the rebooted classes though, what are your thoughts on them and how they compare to their original incarnations?
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it. Yeah, all hard work's gonna be worth it.